Good morning, girls. I will continue with the exercise 4.3. And you know that in the previous videos, I had explained you the formula, quadratic formula, and the nature of the roots. Then, till question number 6, I had explained you. Now, I'll begin with question number 7. Today, I will explain you 3 questions 7, 8, and question number 11. Because I think in my 12-minute video, I will be able to finish only these 3 questions, and for these 2 questions I will make another video and I will explain you. Okay, so let's begin with question number 7. Now question 7 says, the difference of the squares of the two numbers is 180. The square of the smaller number is 8 times the larger number. Find the two numbers. Okay, so let's begin with the question. It says that, see, I will take up two variables here just now to start the question. Then I will convert that in the equation of the one variable. Okay, I'll explain you how. So it is saying that the difference of the squares of two numbers. So let the first number be x. Okay, let the first number be x, and let the second number be y, right? Now it is saying that the difference of the squares of two numbers. Now the difference of the squares of two numbers means x square minus y square is equal to 180. This is given in the question. It is also saying that the square of the smaller number. Now let us suppose the first number to be x, which is a larger number, right? And the second number, which is y, we will suppose it to be a smaller number. We can do vice versa, whatever you want. Now it is saying that the square of the smaller number, that is y square, is equal to 8 times the larger number, right? So therefore y square will be equal to 8x. And what is 8? 8 times, and what is x? X is the larger number. Okay, so now this value of y square is equal to 8x. I will substitute in this equation and I will get x square minus 8x is equal to 180. Now you have got the quadratic equation in x, and we can write x square minus 8x minus 180 equals to 0. Now to find the answer for x and y, we can either apply the quadratic formula or we can use the splitting the middle term method. So let us do it by splitting the middle term method. For the factors of 180, I will take 18 into 10, and 18 and 10 will be subtracted. I will get 8. Now looking at the signs, here I will put minus, here I will put plus. This is x, and this is 18 x square. Okay, so I will continue now. X square minus 18x minus plus 10x minus 180 equals to 0. Okay, so these are the factors of 180. Then x bracket x minus 18 plus 10 bracket x minus 18 equals to 0. So we write x minus 18 is one factor and x plus 10 is another factor for the given quadratic equation, and we write either x minus 18 is equal to 0 or x plus 10 is equal to 0. In the first one, for this one I will get x is equal to 18, and for this one I will get x is equal to minus 10. Now you know that we are talking about the positive numbers over here, so we will take the value of x as 18, and now the value of x is 18. What is y? Y square is equal to 8x. So we write y square is equal to 8x. Y square is equal to 8 into 18, or we can factorize it. 8 I can write 2 into 2 into 2, and 18 I can write 2 into 3 into 3. So therefore I get the pairing of this, and I will get y is equal to 2 into 2 into 3, that is 12. Okay, so The answers are the two numbers are, one is 12 and one is 18. The larger one is 18 and the smaller one is 12. Okay, now this completes your question number 7. So I hope it is clear to you that let the larger number be x, smaller number be y. We first take up x and y for our convenience and we find the equation x square minus y square is equal to 180. As it is saying that the difference of the squares is 180, then why do we take y square is equal to 8x? According to the given condition, it is saying that the smaller number, the square of the smaller number is equal to 8 times the larger number. Hence this value of y square we substitute here and we proceed and we get the answers. Y is 12, x is 18, and these are the two required numbers. Okay, this is question number 7. Now I will come to question number 8. Look at question number 8. See, a train travels 360 km at a uniform speed. If the speed had been 5 km per hour more, it would have taken 1 hour less for the same journey. Find the speed of the train. So again, a train travels 360 km at a uniform speed. Now the speed is not given to us. Let us assume the speed of the train to be x km per hour. Now you know that the speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. If the speed will increase, the time will decrease. So we have to make up an equation to solve this question. So therefore I begin with let the speed of the train be x km per hour, right? Now the distance which has to be traveled is equal to how much? 360 km, right? We know that time is equal to distance upon speed, right? Now distance upon speed, therefore let the first time, obviously if the speed of the train will change, the time will also change. So let us take the time for the first condition. Distance is 360 and speed is x, and therefore this is the first equation. I repeat, we assume the uniform speed be x km per hour. Distance which has to be travelled is equal to 360 km. Time is given by the formula distance upon speed, and therefore time is equal to 360 upon x. This is equation 1. Now it is saying that if the speed increases, means the increase in the speed is given by x plus 5. That means it increases by 5 km per hour, right? And obviously the time will change, because I told you that speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. So time will be 1 hour less than what? Than this one. Okay, so we'll make up the equation. We will write time is equal to distance is equal to 360 and x plus 5 is the speed. Okay, now time is equal to, that is plus 1. Now you have to understand why I have taken plus 1. In the question it is saying minus 1, means it is taking 1 hour less. So you understand the equation first, then I'll explain you. The equation for the given sum will be 360 upon x is equal to 360 upon x plus 5 plus 1, because this is also the time and this is also the time, right? Now why are we equating? See, we will look at this equation in terms of 360 upon x. It is saying that when the speed of the train increases by 5, the time decreases by 1. Okay, so we can say that this is the time, this time is more than 1, I mean more than this one by 1. Did you follow what I said? See, 360 upon x is the time for the original speed. For the original speed, if I compare with the new speed, the time taken for this one is 1 more than this one. Okay, so therefore I take plus 1 here in this. Now I will solve 360 upon x minus 360 upon x plus 5, and which will give you is equal to 1. Okay, now we take the LCM. X bracket x plus 5. Here I take 360 into x plus 5, right? And this is minus 360. X equals to 1. Then I solve here, I get 360x plus 5 zeros are 0, 5 is 30, 1800 minus 360x is equal to 1. That is, if I multiply this here, I will get x square plus 5x. Right, now this will cancel. This will cancel. Now the equation which I am going to write is x square plus 5x minus 1800 is equal to 0.